Thanks. I am surprised that we haven't got a call center going.
Called this regular council meeting to order here at City Hall, June 15th, 2021, 7 p.m. Have one addition to the agenda, public hearing for TIF. Are there any other additions to the agenda this evening? Entertain a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Okay, citizens' comments. Do we have any citizens' comments this evening? Okay, moving on. Consent agenda. Approved minutes. City council meeting, June 1st, 2021.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Appropriation ordinance 6/15/2021 in the amount of $27,851.67 and petty cash in the amount of $463.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Power plant compliance in the amount of $2,800.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. DPC Enterprises in the amount of $1,949.06.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Davis Electrical, $3,406.03.
Second.
A motion and a second on the table. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. To approve and one abstain. Motion to approve. Okay. Public hearing for TIF district.
The members, or some of the members of the Port Authority were here a month and a half ago. So based on that presentation, does anyone have any questions about the process or about the ordinance? This is the last step. The county sent you, it's written, open the email.
I turned that down.
Sent you the written notice of approval of the creation of that district. And then before they adopted that resolution, there were some questions about what can and can't be used with the funds generated by the district. Of course, nothing's generated until there's development out there because there's no increase in property valuation until there's development. But in that email, I included that my response to the county commission about their question.
I was looking at pretty much what we're talking about. There's no updates or anything between when they were here and now, right?
No, Carolyn believes that the establishment of the TIF district will assist her in getting grant money. And there's a lot of anticipated grant money coming down with the talk about the infrastructure bill and that kind of thing. So whether there's actually a TIF project that goes out there, at this point, there's no discussion about that. And if there's a TIF district project, this is just creating the actual district. If there's a project, then they have to come to you, like they did with the grocery store, talk to you about the feasibility of the project, and how those TIF monies would be spent, that kind of thing. So this is just kind of like the first step, so to speak. This is the last part of the first step, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, helping.
Is that a motion?
I would. A motion to approve ordinance number 1083-21. Second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Hey, congratulations on your 4 weeks.
Okay. All right, moving on to department heads. Electrical department, Jeff.
Well, we've, as most of you know, we finished up the deal on West First. It's all finished, turned back to the county, and everybody's happy, and the grass gets mowed and all of that stuff, so we're out of their way. We've started setting some poles. We're gonna set some poles this week yet. Over here on the end of that project that we started several years ago from the Rest Home West. So I'm hoping that we'll get the poles set yet this week. I'm probably gonna take vacation starting next week if harvest starts, so I'll be gone for a while, but Jason will take my help, use them on these street projects, and we'll have the poles in the air before I get back. So, the other thing is that as you pass the deal for power plant compliance, the check, Donna has paid the fees for the permit up front. She's working through Mid-States because she's the gal that does our emission stuff down on the engines too. And so I asked, when they set up the deal for that engine, they didn't know that they were supposed to file for the permit. And he called me and he said, who do you want to use? And I told him, because we've used this gal for, going on almost 10 years. And I mean, she's really good at what she does. She's very meticulous. She knows the business. So I got an email from Department of, or how do they call it, emissions, from Kansas Department of Health and Environment, from Emissions Department, that they have received the check and they've turned this into the process now. They've turned it over to a process officer to go ahead and go through the little jerks and jabs that they do to get everything going and get in compliance. So how long it takes, I can't tell you, but we can't put anything on site until we get permission that the permit has been accepted. And that's where I discussed with some of you guys about the possibility of retiring that number 4 engine. Part of the reason behind it is it's got millions of hours on it. The other part is that when you go to apply for a permit, they look at the amount of emissions that you have in your plant already. And when you take an older engine out like that and you put a newer engine back in, then the emissions are less. And they don't have those, we have equipment for the emissions on every engine that's down there, but the output is just way less on a newer style engine because it's computer controlled, and it stands to reason that it takes less fuel to generate the same amount of kilowatts. So that's the reason behind it. The other one is it does have air start problems on it, and how long it's going to take or what it's going to take to fix it, I don't know. The engine is 50 years old, and the coolant tower on the number 5 engine on the OP is come to the point that it's time to do several $1,000s worth of inner repairs on the tower. We've rebuilt the bottom of it already. We've got new ends for it. We got new caps for the tops. And as we think we can tear it apart and not have to worry about having it, that's when we fix it. But we put a whole new bottom in that tower since I came back to work here. So it's taken quite a little bit of maintenance. The coolant tower on the number 4 engine, on the one that I'd like to retire, is brand new. It hasn't been used hardly at all. It's what they call a quad tower. It sucks air from 4 sides instead of from 2. It's made out of fiberglass instead of metal. And I believe, I'll have to call Marley to find out, but I believe that tower would set right over on the base on the other one, and it'd save. We're probably going to spend $20,000 or $25,000 to put new interior. Well, I can't. It's a media of sorts. It looks like a big 8-track tape. They're cut in sections about yay wide, about this deep, and about 7 feet tall. And you slide them in together, and when the water runs down through them, they're made out of plastic. Well, over the years, that it was put in 1981. that media that plastic has turned to glass. We used to pull it out and wash it every spring and put it back together, but it's so feeble now, we don't take it apart anymore. We just wash it on the outside as best we can. And there's a company in Kansas City that makes parts for it, but it'll be $25,000 to replace all of them. So, you know, with that being said, that's just another reason that maybe we could look at moving that other tower over and get more efficiency out of that tower and not spend a lot of money. I mean, it'll take some money to move it over and fit the pipe to it and that stuff, but that's another reason why you might want to look at saving some money on one end while you do the other. Third reason is I'm probably the only guy that can start that engine. And when I leave, it probably will never get started again. And the reason is it's complicated to start. There's quite a few steps to getting it to roll over. It's a 4-cycle engine, but it's, like I say, it's got millions of hours on it. You know, it's served its purpose over the years. It ran from 1964 to 78 almost solid until the city got a tie. So, you know, there's several million hours on it. So, anyway, it's one of very few that were made. It's an inline 8-cylinder engine, but you know, it's the council's call as to where they want to go from here. So, anyway.
Council, any questions?
I guess we need to check in on switching that tower and see what that pertains to.
I've been
and what
gonna
the
call
costs
Marley
are.
and I've just been busy, but I'll try and call him tomorrow because I'm really curious if it's even a possibility.
Right.
That engine's 1750 kW, this one's 2000. But the way the tower's designed, when they put that tower in, they had intentions at that time, the old number 3 engine was still on the south wall where we're gonna put this Caterpillar. And it was an inline 7-cylinder. And they thought they could run 2 of those engines together, but the tower wasn't big enough to keep them cool. But I'll call Marley and ask them. They're both Marley towers. They should be able to tell me. But this is a newer design. It's all fiberglass. It's easy to clean. You know, it drains itself. So let me do some checking because it might, you know, we might have to have a crane for a couple hours or something. But I think the way it's made, you know, it sucks out of the bottom and it goes into the top. I think it's designed where a welder in a few hours, I think you could swap it over. So anyway, with not, you know, several $1,000s, but it'd be way cheaper than the alternative. So let me do some calling. There's another company that Jason met down at KMU a year ago that does stuff on the older Marley towers and can tell us about that too. So let me do some checking.
Okay.
But whenever the permit gets released, well, we'll probably start seeing parts. So anyway.
Very good. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for Jeff? Okay, moving on to Water Department. Jason?
I just wanted to know, nothing on water, but the gentleman got the pump in the truck, back truck, and we tested it around 4 o'clock today, and it's working, but he has to have to run up to Great Bend to get a valve, so he's just gonna come back tomorrow, but other than that, it's working good. So, that's about all I have on the wastewater.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns under Water Department for Jason? Moving on, Street and Park Department. Jason?
On the, believe it or not, everybody knows we started down there. And I just, we've already had some people letting us know their opinion. And so I'm just gonna let everybody know that the reason I wanted to do that down there is because the best I could do to get that packed is let those harvest semis run down that. Because everybody's like, oh, you're starting that right before harvest. Well, I guarantee it though, that's the best time to get that packed, and they're gonna do all the work while we just sit back and let them do it. So that's why I'm doing it. It should be done here this week. And the other thing is, I wanted to ask, is I already had a lot of people asking about if they want to sell that stuff. So I'm asking if you want to sell it and what you want for a ton, and then I can start, because I got a list of 3 of them so far of what you want to sell it. But that street, the reason they want that too is because it has a little bit of mix of the asphalt with the oil, and it's real thin, and a lot of it was AB3 right under it. So it's got the AB3 rock plus the mix of the oil asphalt with it. And and one of them is one of our own employees. So he says, find out what they want for it, if they want to sell it at all.
Is that not something we'll put on top of our large rock at the truck parking?
It's,
Go over the top.
it's AB3 rock with asphalt mixed in with the chunks. And some of it are chunks, some of it's ground up.
The way prices have gone up, that might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, I think we better just sit on it.
Because otherwise we have to buy it.
Prices went up outrageously.
Well,
And there's probably gonna be some
that's-
more, right? You're gonna mill some.
Well, this whole Broadway's like that, we'll have this whole thing.
Right.
Plus we get a water bar next time. A little dusty. But other than that, that's what we're working on, and it's just getting these streets done.
So once they pack that down, we have to go back over.
I'll go back and
everything.
I'll cut it. But I'm just gonna leave it for a good month, let them just do the work. Instead of wasting our diesel with the tractor, you know.
They'll pack-
Down here we will, but the boy down there, they're really gonna pack it
They'll
good,
pack it
so.
way better than we can.
That's right, yep. So that's why I wanna get that part done first. So. Other than that, guys, that's all I have on the streets. We're just busy with that now,
I
so.
guess you got the grader fixed, even, it's been out and run since. probably-
Yeah, that was
probably
just a
month
little
ago.
brake problem, a little fitting they had to put underneath the cab, back up in there.
Pumps back in on the sewer truck too. Pumps back in on the sewer truck, on the back truck.
He just,
Yeah, you said.
You mentioned. Okay, anybody have any other questions, comments, or concerns for Jason under Street and Park Department?
I wouldn't sell any millings, so I think you guys should keep them.
Yeah, that's fine, I was gonna ask, I said I'd ask, so.
Anything else? Okay, moving on, Police Chief, Chief Adams.
I don't have anything tonight.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for Chief this evening? No? Okay. All right, Fire Chief, Chief Sanders.
I don't have anything.
All right. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for Chief Sanders? All right, moving along, City Administrator Jamie.
Pam and I would like permission to have another special event CMB license for July 2nd. We have a lot of beer left over from Jubilee, and we got a band lined up. Bobby gave us permission to have it here in the Ford garage. We'll have a band. We're gonna try to get a food truck. And we'd like to sell the rest of our beer to try to recoup some of our Jubilee money. So with your permission, we can get that submitted and get that advertised.
I'm okay with that.
sounds good to me.
I'll make a motion for Jamie to have CMV license for July 2nd.
CMB, like 32?
Yeah,
Okay, just wanted to clarify.
Second.
it's the special event permit.
Okay, I have a motion and a second on the table. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand.
The state told me.
Motion carries.
Got a phone call about it.
Anything else, Jamie?
I do want to show you guys. Jeff and I have
I
been
got this
talking.
one here.
Yeah, Jeff and I have been talking and working on replacement for the flags around town. We've had the ones that go up. I think we have 4 different designs. We've just had them for a really long time, just trying to update.
Same thing.
We just ordered one, just to kind of see what it's like. It's not the same as the other ones, but Jeff's
I think it's a non-tear
hopeful
material and it's
for it,
heavy.
so.
They're fairly heavy, so.
So we're gonna see how these go. This batch was under my spending limit, so, I mean, if they're good, it might be something that we come to you guys, for approval, but we just wanted to kind of get a few new designs and see what our options were, so. That was it, yeah. I don't think I have anything else. We're having a Jubilee raffle for fireworks too. We had somebody graciously donate that family pack. I put it on Facebook today. $20 a ticket, and all proceeds go to the Jubilee as well. So.
All right, anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for Jamie?
Did they ever schedule a time on the water tower?
No. No, I planned on checking back with them this week about that. They said it would be, yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't know that they'll come in the middle of summer now,
Hope not.
but, because because I had said not to come, if they can't finish it before Jubilee, to hold off. So I don't know if they care so much, but I don't think Jason wants us to empty the water tower right now.
No, I know.
Just a street project going on, I mean.
Just like in the middle of summer, I don't think is the ideal time.
No, then it'll take time away from us, and then I got a schedule to keep, folks. God.
Yeah, I didn't know how much you're entailed with it, I
Yeah.
guess I didn't realize.
Takes a whole crew to do it.
Okay, anything else?
Can't throw monkeys in for ants.
Okay, moving along, city attorney, John.
There were several changes by the state to the alcohol and intoxicating liquors laws. And a lot of times, retailers think that just changes, that those are just automatically applied to them. And if that's not true, the city has to update its ordinances. The only one that I saw, and I probably need to go over these with Jamie, the only one that I saw applicable here is that they changed the hours for the retail sale of alcohol at a liquor store from, you've got it at noon to 8. They allow you guys to start selling alcohol at 9 o'clock on Sunday. And I didn't know whether you guys wanted to update your ordinances to correspond with those changes.
Is that just liquor store or like convenience and grocery store as well?
It would probably be all of them, now that that's kind of one thing.
I was gonna say, I don't think that our liquor store is open.
They're considered
Convenience
retail.
stores that way now, though.
Yeah, they'd be considered a retail seller. A lot of times it's just a confusion that, that they're gonna automatically, or probably automatically think that they can start selling at 9 o'clock, even though your ordinances say that they have to wait till noon. I don't know why. Never had a desire or need to buy alcohol at 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, but
There'd just be less confusion if we just changed our
I
ordinance.
think it's just
Make it
better to
less-
stick with their
Right.
format than to
Yeah.
be different, but it's kind of one of those personal things, so. I thought I'd bring it to you. I probably need to just get a list to Jamie and say this is the way they updated it. What affects St. John, there's just not gonna be, you don't have any fast food restaurants, so I mean, there's some things that aren't gonna apply here, but, before I did that, I wanted to see if you guys wanted to begin with.
Council?
Fine with me,
Put a list together when we look at it, I guess.
yeah.
You know,
See how entailed it is.
Probably there's a legislature puts together like a note basically for legislators to read before they vote. I'd probably just provide that to you guys so you can see what all's in the bill.
Kyle, you sign? Okay with that? Yeah. Okay. Anything else, John?
That's it.
Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for John? Okay, moving along to old business. Ordinance, house numbers, ordinance 1082-21.
Still checking them,
Still checking. All
still checking them.
right. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding the house number ordinance? Okay, moving on, sewer report, what do we got? Anything new on that?
No, mayor's been in contact with Jason and I both, and they called for
Yeah, he
where they
called,
could store
Yeah.
stuff, so.
yeah. I just told him as big as they are, just take them down there and sign the plant, west of the plant there. Put it all down there.
All right, sounds good.
Around July, something, mid-July, he's gonna start coming with it.
Good. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for Jason for the sewer report?
The guy said they're taking care of going door to door, right? To let people
Door
know to
knockers
go
and
down.
stuff,
Okay, anything else? Okay, moving along. Property code violations, anything new under that?
I did talk to Preston, and with the rain that we had got, I think they said that they're kind of running 3 weeks to 4 weeks behind, so I'm guessing we won't get to some of these properties until July. I know Marshall and I have talked about being able to assess it to taxes and wanting to try to get them done before that, but we'll see what they can do, so.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns for the property code violations? Okay, moving along. What do we have for truck parking?
I'm still waiting on an update. I got an initial email from the engineer, but I need to check back with him as he was gonna look into it a little bit more in depth. So I need to double check with him and see where he is on that. So
Did Stone ever call back?
he will.
Stone?
I can try calling again.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a fall wheel.
Okay.
I do have to be
Have any other questions, comments, or concerns for under the truck parking?
Are we spraying that? Or is that just coming up? Cause I drove by it last week, I mean, they're starting to get up
Good
there.
question.
We just
Yeah,
letting that
I-
foliage build up will mess up,
Yeah, that's right. That's dead right.
cause they're growing fast. So if it hasn't been sprayed, we need to get on it pretty quick.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Jason,
We
is
can get it
that
this week.
something you guys could do?
Yeah, we'll get it this week, because once we get the other side done, then we're just one person to mill, and then the rest of the guys can do whatever else we need. So, yeah.
Okay, great, thank you, Jason. Any other questions, comments, or concerns regarding the truck parking? Okay, moving along. Engine for power plant, anything new on that?
That's it. Just what I told you earlier,
Those
that's
earlier,
kind of
okay.
where we're at.
Okay. All right, moving along to bulk water project, anything new for that?
I haven't had time to get the meter and stuff on there so we can test that pump. I apologize.
Okay.
We've had other stuff going on and we just haven't got it done. But we'll try and work on it a little bit, but like I say, the next couple of weeks I'll probably be gone, so it might be farther into the summer, but we need to set it up because we know we're gonna pump it one way or the other. And so I can track it, and so he can track it, and I need to put a meter on the side of the building when we do it, so. Anyway, I've got the material, it's just a matter of getting it in there.
Okay, sounds good. Anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding bulk water project? Okay, moving on to new business, power plant number 4 engine, we talked a little bit about that. Do you have anything else to add?
I don't have anything.
Okay, anybody have any questions?
I
under that?
will keep you up to date as soon as I can find out. so.
Okay, unless anybody has any questions under that, we'll move along. Okay, we don't have any executive sessions this evening?
Mayor, can I have one thing on new business? Just let council know, if you have the time, Thursday, they're having a meeting over at Stafford, I believe it's 7 PM. It's gonna be about the motel turning into a halfway house, drug rehab. I don't know if I don't know what all's going in there. But it is going to affect our city. So if you have an opportunity and you can go over Thursday, I'm planning on going over, because what gets put in there is going to affect us. Our stuff for PD stuff is gonna change here in town when that hits. So, just kinda letting you know, if you can make it, great. So, I've been working with Stafford PD and we just kinda getting the game plan. I'm glad we're not Stafford PD, but it is going to affect us over here on a lot of things.
Is that confirmed what it is, or is that just the rumor?
No, that's confirmed. The new owners have already called Stafford City Hall apparently and told them what all was going in there, so, it sounds like it's probably a done deal, but, they're having a meeting. I guess they had a meeting about it at council last night, talked with the interim chief for a little while about it, and let them know that I was gonna be there Thursday for that, meeting in Stafford, but it's going to be important. Nobody really kind of understands how bad it is going to affect us. Not as much as them, but it is going to. We're going to see a rise in some problems. So just kind of give you guys that heads up on that.
Thank you. Okay, unless there's any other business, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second on the table. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.